What's up, guys? We're back in, and we are finally going to be reviewing Kung Fu Panda 4. So I know I've been talking about Kung Fu Panda lately on the channel, so hopefully you guys have been watching those reviews. If you have, I definitely appreciate it. But finally being able to watch this movie finally comes to a conclusion. Is Kung Fu Panda the franchise ending? It could be a possibility. The entirety of this film is again based around Po, and he is still the Dragon Warrior. Everything he's gone through in the first three films. Then between Master Shifu comes to him and says it's time for him to choose a successor to be the next Dragon Warrior. And in a way, it almost makes it feel like that they're trying out, because again, I would say he has now gotten to close to be in Master Uwe's position, but not fully, and that's apparently what Uwe wanted. But again, it don't really make sense because it didn't really show Uwe in this film. The five don't really show in this film. They're not at all in this film until the very end, and Po is having a hard time dealing with this because he doesn't want things to change. Then when he meets a new character by the name of Zen, who is played by Aquafina. She is a thief. She's trying to steal something, and then Po realizes that the land is being threatened by possibly Tai Lung, and unfortunately is not. Is this chameleon lizard that is trying to gather all the masters from the other in the spirit realm, so that way she can take their chi and be able to become a martial artist. Because later we find out in the movie that she wanted to become a martial artist, but she was always turned away. And Zen is almost a little bit like Po, very much of an outsider. She's an orphan, and she's always had to rely on herself. Now, Zen and Po kind of have almost like this buddy cop throughout the entirety of the film, where Po's not trying to fight, he's trying to like learn what Shifu told him. And Shifu again is on the back burner in this film, and when Po and Zen go on this journey to try to stop this chameleon, we do see where it just stops. It just stops to where it's like, okay, you know, between his other dads, between his Panda dad, and then between, you know, Ping is trying to stop him. You're like, oh, you know, we're always worried. And again, it's kind of cool, but at the same time, they have this bar fight, which was pretty funny. This whole movie pretty much has the same thing all the other the Kung Fu Panda movies has. It has action, it has adventure, it has comedy. The animation was really good in here as well. I know some people may love or hate Awkwafina's character. I didn't have a problem with her character. I thought she was a very charismatic, funny character, especially finding out that it was the chameleon that took her in, and that she was the apprentice of this person, because she even said that she was adopted by someone and trained. And that's how we find this out. Now, another thing I will say I did not like about this film is Tai Lung was only in here for actually one point. He gets brought back to the actual world from the spirit realm, and he's trying to go back. And again, you would think he'd want to stay in the real world, and he fights off the guards, and that's when his martial arts gets taken, and then more and more starts getting taken. You know, Shin, and then Kai from the third film. So all these different masters, whether they're good or bad, all their powers get taken into the chameleon, and that's when Po has to fight her. But then at the same time, Po is even training Zen to go, okay, look, there's always time to change. There's always time to do better. And that's pretty much what he wants to do. And when they finally do come across her, that's when he gets help from all these misfits of thieves and, you know, guns for hire type deal. And they all come together to take down the chameleon so they can take back this city. And then finally, when Zen comes back with Po, and Po's like, okay, you know, yeah, you're going to serve your time in jail because you tried stealing from the palace, but at the same time, I'm willing to do something else for you. So what he does is he puts the idea in Shifu said, like, hey, I choose her to be the next Dragon Warrior. And of course, he loses his mind again, and then this is when he enlists the help of the five to come back. And this is when we hear the hit piece that Jack Black did, that was on TikTok and everywhere else, for Hit Me Baby One More Time, for the cover of Britney Spears. I enjoyed that cover. I thought it was pretty funny. I think Jack Black did very good with that role, but at the same time, I felt like this movie was missing some things, because even you saw Tai Lung and all the others gave praise to Po for, you know, being the Dragon Warrior, and then Tai Lung grabbing the chameleon at the end of the movie and bringing her to the spirit world, which again didn't feel like Tai Lung unless he actually grew up more in maturity wise and emotionally to actually become a good person and actually maybe change. Maybe that's what happened. I don't know, because again, Tai Lung was always one of my favorite characters in the Kung Fu Panda series. I enjoyed his backstory. I enjoyed what happened, and it kind of sucked that he wasn't in there long. The fight was in there. That was kind of boring, but I do like the fact that Po is now training someone to be his, now that Zen is going to be his apprentice, but at the same time, she is learning how to be a better warrior rather than a thief and a con artist. Now, will there be a fifth film? Possibly. Again, I think the third film would have been a nice bow tie, so to speak, to end the franchise. Again, I think not a whole lot of people, including myself, suspected a fourth film. If they do a fifth film, I think they need to do it probably within the next year or two. Everyone's getting older. Obviously, Jack Black's getting a little bit older. He's still, you know, fiery as ever. He's always up for doing something, but at the same time, we want to make sure if they're going to end this on a good note, then they need to make sure they end this on a good note. That's just my overall opinion. I did enjoy myself with this movie. It was very funny. It felt like a normal Kung Fu Panda movie. It didn't feel like anything was in there that wasn't supposed to be. It didn't feel like anything was forced. The villain probably was not my favorite villain. Again, I think my favorite villain, like I said again, is going to be Tai Lung. That's the reason why, again, the last two films was kind of in my opinion. The first one I feel like is always going to be the best one, in my opinion. And I just feel like, again, they're trying to get other enemies there that honestly just doesn't feel like a major threat, because it kind of felt like it was very rushed with the fight to be able to end her off, and it wasn't even Poe that ended off beating the chameleon. It was Zen. So Zen, I guess that's the whole reason why they were trying to make Zen almost a main character as well, rather than Poe, because Poe is learning how to be more of a master and teach and learn rather than just being the Dragon Warrior. So I guess that's what's going to be the purpose of the next film if they do a next film. So overall, guys, what is your stance on Kung Fu Panda 4? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Was it okay? 1 out of 10, I'll give it an 8. I'm gonna be good on this. I think I'm gonna give it an 8. It was a good film. I did enjoy myself, and I can't wait to see what else they're gonna do in the future wise for Kung Fu Panda. So let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you as always on the next one.